Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of ASKability. ASKability is a series of short video interviews where I talk with other disabled people about how access, accommodations, and inclusion show up in their professional lives. My name is Nico Meyering. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a white man with parted blonde hair, darker glasses. I'm wearing a purple dress shirt and a purple sweater vest today. I'm seated in front of a series of bookcases against a purple wall. I'm honored today to be joined by my friend, Laura. Laura, will you introduce yourself and talk a bit about who you are, what you do?
Yes, thank you so much, Nico, for having me on your show today. Yes, hi everyone. My name is Laura Andert, and I'm excited to be here. I am a white Caucasian woman wearing brown rimmed glasses. I have a flowery yellow flowery shirt on with a mix of gold in my shirt. A lot of things going on in my shirt I'm wearing, a lot of colors. I am seated in front of a white background, and yes, so that describes me and what I look like right now. And yes, I am a disability inclusion business partnership consultant. Again, I had to think of what my professional title is because it's kind of a long one. But I am very fortunate in my profession. I love what I do, as I get to teach Fortune 500 companies about hiring people with disabilities. And I am located here in Minnesota, and I am in the process of almost being certified with my benefits coach certification. I am almost done. So what that means, I will be helping individuals with their benefits, reporting into Social Security and or if individuals I come into contact with are wanting to go back to work or wanting to start work while being on benefits, I will be able to help them navigate that. It's been a long journey with the certification process. I love it. It's intense. I'm excited to be done and help individuals. So, and then I also wanted to say, along with educating these companies about hiring people with disabilities, we make customized positions for people with disabilities within the companies we partner with. So yes, it's a lot that we do here for inclusive networking. The company that I work for here in Minnesota. I didn't say the company, but there you go. So.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Laura. That does sound like you're busy doing very worthy work. Perhaps after we close, I would personally love to know more about this benefits certification.
Yes.
That is something I could see a lot of value being delivered through. But let's get to our planned questions. This is also my cat, Hera. She's a gray and black tabby, and she does what she wants. What access features or tools do you yourself use in your daily life, and how do they help you?
That is a great question right off the bat. I actually use voice to text when I text people on my phone, except, technology is always improving, growing each day, and they really need to work on the voice to text, because sometimes when you're saying a word or trying to say a word, it completely goes or comes out a way different word, and sometimes you don't quite like edit what you say, and then you completely text that person and you're like, oh my gosh, that's not what I meant to say. I'm sorry, that wasn't an appropriate word. I'm using voice to text, and sometimes it's not always reliable. But I do have to say, I've been offered in my previous job to use Dragon Naturally Speaking when it comes to typing up documents or emails. I've used it a long time ago for actually when I was in high school. So I'm sure it's improved a lot. I'm 32 years old. So I've been out of high school for years. And I've not looked into using Dragon Naturally Speaking for work now. I'm a slow typer, and that's never going to change. I do have a mild condition of cerebral palsy. I should have said that from the start, because that's who I am. I'm a girl with a disability. And yeah, so I haven't had the opportunity to look into Dragon Naturally Speaking further. I'm sure it's improved, but I'm sure it could help me, but I'm just fine typing at my own pace, being a pecker, that's fine with me. And as far as other tools that I use, I don't know if this is necessarily a tool, Nico, but I do like to zoom in on my screen a lot. I don't really make my icons bigger on my desktop or my apps, but so I zoom in on my phone when there's like little print. I'm reading, so I zoom in so I can read more clearly. So yes, that's about it though. Yeah, I'm thinking day-to-day basis, what you're making me think here. What do I use? Yeah, I think that's it for now. So
Thank you. I would say that enlarging icons or enlarging font on your screen would be an access feature, if not a tool. It's something that I find myself using if I use a Kindle or a Kindle app to read books. And then I also share your frustration with speech to text. As someone who generally lives like 100 miles per hour, it's supposedly easier for me to go speech to text, but sometimes those typos really bite me in the rear. It's tough. Laura, if I could give you a magic wand, if I could give you some reality warping ability, what access tool or feature don't you currently use that you would use if it was available to you? So if you could wave your wand and give yourself one magic tool, what would it be?
I love this question, Nico, because oh my gosh, yes, I'm thinking of the story, the fairy tale Cinderella. She had a fairy godmother and she got the magic wand and it took her to the ball. But so if I had that same wand, I am being a hypocrite here. I love this question, but I don't know, or I can't think of like a tool at the top of my head that I'd want to use. Maybe like, like every opportunity that comes my way, either professionally, personally, when I'm out in public, just like having this benefit coach certification come my way, I wanted maybe like the ability to be like psychic, like, I don't know, like, yeah, am I saying that right, Nico? Like, to be able to be like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Like, what is my life going to look like with this certification? Like, am I going to be helping lots of individuals with disabilities? with their benefits, like, is it just like another certification under my belt? Like, like, will I be using it sort of, but focusing on other things? Like, so having that psychic ability to know what it means when every opportunity I embrace in, I endure in comes like what it means. And I'm sorry, everyone, people may not believe in psychic abilities. That's totally fine, of course. I'm saying psychic because as a whole picture, having a vision of what, opportunities that come my way, with like what it means, what it looks like. So maybe the better word is like having that vision of seeing into the future. So yeah, so I hope that answers your question, Nico.
I grant you it is an unconventional answer, but I imagine looking into the future might be an access need. And as someone who is also trying to collect certifications, I can sympathize with wanting some more letters behind your name, but not really looking forward to going through the process of earning said certification. Time expenditure when you're in your 30s is a constant resource game. Tell me, Laura, how are disabled people included or excluded in your community? And are there people or groups that are advocating for better inclusion? So obviously there is, right, because you work for one, but I'm interested to hear you extrapolate on this query.
So when I came across, because Nico, you said I'm going to email you the questions beforehand. And I said that before we got on this call, like, I love that, so I'm more prepared on what I want to say. So when I came across this question that you asked, it immediately brought to mind that focusing on my community that I live in, essentially not the community I work in, the community I live in. So I live in a suburb of the Twin Cities, St. Paul area in Minnesota. And I have to be honest with you, like, I see improvements of, like, when it comes to accessibility here and there, like with parking, with restaurants here and there. But I really haven't seen, like, for inclusion, like including people with disabilities, I haven't really seen a strong mission to improve it in my community, if that makes sense. Like, if that totally makes sense. But then on the other side of that, like going into, like I said, like working in my community, that's a whole different spectrum, right? Because we come into individuals who are looking for work, and hiring people with disabilities and educating these employers on hiring people with disabilities. But, growing up, and Nico, we've met before in the Diversibility Leadership Collective group, network. You've heard, I've always had this mindset of persevering and advocating for myself. I was taught at a very young age, with my cerebral palsy, I'm an effective communicator, that it was up to me to create the life that I want. Like, I have a great support system with family and peers around me, but it was up to me to actually go out in the world and find a job and advocate on what I need. So going back to your original question, here. I'd say, I don't see for inclusion in like my community everywhere I go. Some aspects of my community I do, like, in stores I see employees with disabilities working, but I hope this answers to your question, Nico, but I don't really see, like, we don't really have a core advocate for people with disabilities group in my community. Like, so I fought my way into like what I need, what I want in my community. So yeah.
That is an effective answer. And I
Okay.
think it's a pattern that we see across the US where disability-centered services are more prevalent in major urban areas, and then they spread out, or don't, to the suburbs. And then they spread out from there, or more likely they don't, into rural areas. So yeah, I get what you're putting down.
Okay.
My last
Very
planned
good.
question is, how would you specifically, Laura, benefit from better disability inclusion?
How would I benefit? Yes, I love this question. Just let's not let's not pretend anymore that wait, I had a thought, and then it just went, um, let's not okay, so I'm a very blunt person and I tell it how it is sometimes, on whatever I'm talking about in conversations with like my peers, my friends, my family. But, over the past few years, disability inclusion has erupted on a mission for a better life for people with disabilities. But let's I just want to say, let's not beat around the bush on, oh my gosh, there's people with disabilities, in our community. Oh my gosh, steer clear from them. No, let's not. I mean, because let's be real, people, there's still, assumptions about people with disabilities, and we're real as can be. And just so what? We have limitations, but we can create the life that we want. So I would benefit for more inclusion. I would I would like to see, like I was talking about before, like in my community, like I would just like to see like more advocates for people with disabilities in my community. There we go. And those individuals who are fighting for, inclusion, I would like to see them fight for what they want and they need, because we have the power to change things in our community. Does that make sense, Nico? I kind of went above and beyond there.
I think it makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Okay.
As someone who's
Good.
devoted a major portion of his life to disability activism, many hands make light work, and this can be very heavy work. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As we close our time together today, Laura, I want to give you a chance to talk about where people can find you online, and also a chance to celebrate any recent wins you have. Like, this is your soapbox, my friend. So take it away. Where can people find you online? What hype do you want to provide yourself?
So thank you so much for offering that. But you can find me online on my professional LinkedIn page, Laura Andert. Thinking about my LinkedIn link. I think it's Laura Andert, a disability inclusion business partnership consultant. I don't think I have any numbers with my LinkedIn name link. I think Laura Andert, and I'll just pop up with inclusive networking. Reese, I would love to speak with you if you want. So yes, thank you, Nico. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time, Laura.